You just ruined it.
No, I know. So this thing with this sort of male masculinity, I mean, I want to not, I mean, obviously not now, but when I come over to I'm an Alpha, I'll drop some fucking real shit of you know, where I not come from, but like, you know, to sort of vibe into that whole sort of not mental health aspect of it all, but like understanding it, know where it comes from, know what triggers it, you know, all of, you know, but I won't go too deep personally with myself because I'll just be repeating myself.
When knows, we talked about that before.
Well, no, but I mean like, I'll be repeating myself when I come on an Alpha and I talk about it. So I'll save it all.
That's okay.
But just quickly though, I remember, you know, I think everything in life is all about sacrifice, you know, and I think that until you sort of keep educating yourself and reprogram your subconscious, you know, you're never going to learn, you know, it's just that program over and over and over and over again. And I remember this one time I was driving over Anzac Bridge and there was a rap song and the rapper said like, you know, keep doing the same thing, expect the same results. And I had heard this rap song so many times and I was just driving and I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, like,
makes sense,
and I'm just like, maybe that's what's wrong with me. I keep doing the same thing, expect the same results. And it's just like, you sort of need that little bit of a wake up and then you kind of go into something else and something else and something else. But it's like something overcomes you and it keeps you down at that frequency, you know, because it's like I believe in like, say, a sort of a parallel universe theory or a multi-dimensional thing. And I think that by frequency and choice and everything, you can tap into various timelines. So I think that other things that are outside of this realm or outside of this dimension, they know that, you know, I think there's some form of trade-off, right? But there's something that keeps you down, that feeds you and feeds you and feeds you. And it won't let you out, you know, until you hear that, keep doing the same thing. And then you're like, oh, you just change one thing. Yeah. And once you change that thing, you sort of reprogram that, reprogram the program. And then, and then you level up. And you get to a point where it's like, you know, you've learned these new behavior patterns and then you've kind of just sort of formed yourself, recreated it. And I got to a time when I'm just like, you know, about the drinking and I was always drinking to a point where I had nothing left, put everything into this company, you know, the last bit of money I had and I sacrificed, and it was all to sacrifice. It was that one choice, sacrifice everything I had. Go balls deep in starting a company and then everything changed. And then, you know, yoga, meditation. I'd done this, I hadn't drunk for like a couple of months because I was, you know, trying to kickstart my company up. And I'd done this meditation class and they told us to write down something on a piece of paper and I wrote down success. And if somebody was to say to me, what do you know about success or tell me about success? I remember that I used to watch a show called Robin Big. It's Rob Dyrdek. And he hosts Ridiculousness. I've heard of that. Robin Big, Ridiculousness, and Fantasy Factory. He's like a skateboarder that done this thing. And when he was young, he got hypnotized for success. Right. Absolutely. And you just hear that. So whenever I hear success, I think about his story. And this is going back years ago. So my word now is success. Anyway, wrote this down on a piece of paper. Done this meditation class on the Friday night. And then on the Tuesday, I was on the radio and I got like a small plug for my company and I won like 10 grand and stuff like that. So meditated for success. A week later, this sort of plug on the radio happened and I won money. And I looked at that and I connected that and I'm like, holy shit, like this thing's powerful because I created that, you know. But then that radio plug exposed me to the rest of the world on national radio, on Facebook, Instagram, and then people that knew my past come in, attacked me, you know, and then I sort of like, in a sense, kind of relapsed, but it was the worst sort of sense of rock bottom.
Yeah.
Because all of my fears were sort of resurfaced on, you know, what, like I was leaving myself open for ex-girlfriends to come in and just like, like, you know what people are like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know,
they
start
want to tear you
attacking.
down. Yeah, because they're not.
Yeah. And someone created a fake account, said all this stuff. And I deleted my Facebook account after that and never fucking returned, because I'm like, this is toxic. You know, I need to become the ghost and fucking drift off in the shadows. But that really brought me down and kind of changed my vibe. To a sense, I kind of relapsed and started drinking again and stuff like that. But I found something within that, you know, and then probably I went and started drinking again and whatnot. But I'll tell you all that full long-winded story, which leads into something more, you know, sort of crazy of all this shit, you know, that
I mean, I love that you said it's about the sacrifice. And I even look at it from this point of view. So I recently have had just everything falling into place in magical ways. One of the catalysts was that I let go, sacrificed all the things that might have fed my ego. But
what do you mean by that? What was affecting your ego?
As an example, I was getting asked to speak at political functions and things like that. So I'd go and speak because I'd got arrested.
What, recently?
And I was part of the freedom movement and opposing lockdowns and all this stuff. So I was doing this stuff, and it got to the point where I realized it was for my ego and not for like I needed to be spending my time creating podcasts and dedicated to what I'm doing now. And when I did that, everything started to fall into line because I sacrificed the things that weren't serving that mission, despite the fact that they made me feel all special and people would go, wow, you're wonderful, you know? And I gave it away. And then, I mean, that's a form of sacrifice as well.
But this was what, like last September, November?
No, this was like literally, like, I mean, even now, like.
Is that when you said you got arrested?
So I got arrested in early September.
Last year?
Yeah. Since then.
So this is when you dropped the ego? No?
No, later than that.
Oh,
we're talking the last couple of months.
Ah, right.
Like, this is how quick.
So what you're trying to, okay. I got you.
My transformation, like for me, the last 6 months has been like total U-turn, right?
Yeah.
So I went through my process where I woke up, yada, 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 whatever. And things were moving quick for about a year and a half. And then in the space of September to now, we've launched a podcast with like almost 6,000 followers, like loads of views. I'm running this Unity Week. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to other people. I go on other people's podcasts all the time. I'm a regular on Cosmic Gateway, which is one of my friends' podcasts on Facebook and YouTube. It's brilliant. And then now I'm starting to work on offering a service in the spiritual space and all of that. I've just gone through massive realizations and just.
So that door has opened up in the last 6 months. Yeah. But this whole thing has been over a longer time.
Yeah. It's been over a longer time, but there's like a quickening that seems to have gone on. And particularly this year, like if you talk to people in the spiritual community, and I'd love to get your point of view, it's like life is speeding up. And I know a lot of people in my community who are being called to bigger and better things, and they're having to really start to push their comfort zones and their boundaries. So, I mean, I don't know how that looks for you.
Depending where you look for it, or, you know, like if it's online, there's a lot of imposters and there's a lot of fakeness and there's a lot of people out there, you know, that are forming their own community, but at the same time, their community may be business related, where if you're not doing, like, it's not a welcoming sort of thing. You have to do everything they're doing. For example, like through a yoga community. You know, if you're not, say, a vegan, you know, you're not welcomed, you know, and if you, I've had moments where at the end of a class, you know, and one of the teachers whispers, oh, has anyone got any recommendations for next week? And I just go, some snacks. And they go, some what? You go, some snacks. And you get snacks. And they go, oh, snacks. And then someone goes, well, as long as you like vegan food. And so they'll make vegan snacks. And I just go, I'm a carnivore. And they go, and then someone whispers, and the next minute, a couple of little whispers, I'm a vegan. And someone goes, oh, I'm a vegan. I'm a vegan too. And it's like, oh, what? You're a vegan? Oh my God, you're a vegan? Oh, and then they just go, whoop, they drop, and you're just here. And you're like, fuck. Okay. I'm just like, but then you see what they post online, and it's like, treat others how you want to be treated, and and they express a message, and you go, I know you in real life, and I know you on Instagram. So, I think I've lost track from answering your question, but
I don't even remember my question.
It was like, have I seen the acceleration in the move, like in the kind of good. But yeah, look, or fakeness. Was it fakeness? I don't know. I feel like I forgot. But
it's just fake news.
What's that?
It's like fake news.
Yeah, but no, but look, it's everywhere, So I completely forgot. Of course,
so I was, we might call it a quickening, like people, like your life is picking up pace. And I mean, we look at, I look at an acceleration too in the amount of people that are waking up. Whether it's waking up to the system or spiritually awakening.
I actually, okay. So I haven't really seen that sort of many people. I've seen the movement of like people waking up to the bullshit and the government shit and all that sort of stuff, but not like, I think people know that there's bullshit going on. And if you do interact with people one-on-one, personally, I think you do find a lot more people opening up and stuff. But I still think there are a lot of people that are a part of it, but not necessarily. And I mean, I'm pretty not isolated within myself, but I kind of don't really branch out to many people. So I probably haven't really interacted with as many people as you. I mean, I've spoken to people, but I'm not really sort of that. So I haven't really seen too much of it. So but I know
I go the other extreme. Like quite frankly, I'm exhausted. I really am.
Yeah. Cool. So, but no, going back on that whole sort of mental health thing, right? I've noticed, like, you've got the people speaking about it. What they call it, the "Are You Okay" day. And you've got like a lot of people now in their mid 40s, 50s that are sort of like, I've got mental health or I'm depressed and stuff, but a lot of elderly men I found are still drinking, especially in families and stuff like that. Like people are getting like sort of like lazy. The diets are wrong. I know like a lot of, not people around me, but I know like gym culture or gym communities. I know people that if they experimented with testosterone or performance enhancing supplementation and stuff like that, that you get to your late 30s, your hormones aren't working properly. You start to get, testes aren't producing testosterone. You start to get down, depressed. You incorporate the bad diet. You incorporate the drinking. You see a lot of men getting sucked down into that vortex where they won't let go of that ego to say like, this is what you need. So it's almost like you see a lot of men that are still using that Band-Aid, still drinking, won't admit, to surrender, won't say, not put their hand up for help, but I see a lot of people on that mental health aspect that are still just keep doing the same thing, and they won't change. And all the answers to their problems is just that one choice, and that's stop drinking, change your lifestyle. And some people in that sort of mental health aspect can't even see it that clearly, where that is, that choice is what causes it.
But even lifestyle, yet again, you talk to the whole thing. Talk about the whole thing. The whole system. And it causes discontent. I still think that, I mean, there's a very good reason why we're seeing a rise in
of course,
adverse mental health.
Of course.
But unless you address the actual root of the cause, I don't think it actually ever goes away. Yes, diet, things like that can help.
I think time as well. I think that, the first step is obviously talking.
But I know for me, so let's say I was back at that job working in a container, falling apart, forever. There's no amount of diet that would fix that.
I get you.
And I guess I guess there's some people that can happily continue and with the minutiae and just go through the routine.
Yeah.
But there is a significant percentage of the portion that is not a portion of the community that isn't geared for it.
Yeah.
Has to do it.
Yeah.
And is forcing themselves, and therefore, no matter, unless they can come to the realization and then act on it, that they need to make a change and live aligned with their purest, being.
But it is that, like, a lot of people can't see that because, like, if that,
because they're not shown it.
Well, yeah, or
not even told we can do it.
Well, yeah, or the trauma is just so deep, so buried, within them of something that happened.
True. True.
I think I told you last week that I'd done like a breathwork session.
Yeah.
And I went back to a moment through the breathwork when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And in that, I sort of cried in the first part of that breathwork.
Yep.
But then after it, when I sort of came out of it, I think it was about an hour. But I think after it, when I came to, I just broke down.
Yeah.
Just like had all these answers. My body was sore, like all my muscles were sore because you're
storing it in there. Yeah.
Wow. And it's 90% of everybody has it, in them.
I was about to say, and doesn't do it, and isn't doing anything about it. And it can be, I don't know what your situation was, but it can be very trivial because trauma can be relative. So if you've lived a pretty good life, something that is nothing to someone who's had a lot of suffering is a lot to that person that hasn't had to deal with extreme levels of suffering. So it can be sort of relative, if you get what I mean.
What do you mean? Like, so everyone's got the trauma, or
if I've lived, everyone has trauma.
Yeah, but not, I mean, like everyone,
but
some people don't express.
If you've been abused, you're not going to look at getting yelled at by this particular person and abused as a, told off as a kid. Because you can have those little moments where just the right circumstances, it looks like nothing, but it sticks with you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
There's like a key moment, and that to you can be like, whoa.
Well, that could be something that you could say 20 years down the track, 30 years down the track, you might just be interacting with somebody that turns into like an argument, and you just snap. You throw something, or you're aggressive, or you might like have this thing that when you're in the car, triggers road rage because you're, like you're scared or you're vulnerable, and it goes back to that because you're trying to just release it, but you don't know because it's like it's just so much going on. Like the mind and that monkey chatter, like people just break down and freak out.
That's why the inner work and doing the work needs to become more normalized in society, because it's not, because you're on the fringes. You doing breath work and things like, there's a lot of people that you tell that to and they go, breath work, weird. What? I'm breathing, They don't get it.
But some people want more and more and more because they get a taste of it, But I think
that's true.
I think some people too, like I spoke to, who did I speak to? I've spoken to a couple of people, and they say that let's say, for example, you have this conversation with somebody that you're saying, you need to change, you need to do meditation, you need to do this. Like with their choice, like in life, they don't really have to. Do you know what I mean? Like they can take the blue pill daily and go and be asleep. Think that the vax is going to save their lives, think that climate change is real, think that the government's actually there to protect them, but you cannot wake them up. And that might be the only way they know how to deal with it, know? And even though they might need some hundreds of hours of counseling or some deep meditation, or like, even though they might have that trauma, they might need release and stuff like that. Like some people just don't want to, and they're happy. They're happy working that 9 to 5, but you got others, that are that sort of toxic fuel in society that you're like you need to fix. But, within choice, you can't sort of force it on people to say
100%.
Everyone needs to do it.
That's what I feel, there's this balancing act. So for me, for the most part, unless you come and you ask me about what I'm doing, and, if someone asks me about meditation, I'll tell them all about it. But from a spiritual perspective,
do you do it often?
Every day.
Yeah.
That's my bread and butter. That's my everything. That quiet time, and if I don't do it, I'm a mess.
In the morning?
Morning, night, whenever I have to, need to, can do.
With music, or you just sit there?
Often music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have
I'm getting very much into like shamanic practices, and I'm going to start working with ceremony. I've got a friend that we're going to do like a cacao ceremony.
What's cacao?
The next couple of weeks. It's just like
flute. No.
It's like the cocoa, but like a pure version, and you carve it.
What, like a?
No. You consume it. You make a tea out of it. You go through a whole process.
Not like ayahuasca or anything.
No.
Not as.
But
brutal.
it can have certain
similar
effects, but not to that depth.
Yeah. Right.
I've had it before, and I mean, I had a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So that was.
That's what everyone needs.
That was all right. But yeah, we're going to do that because I'm very drawn to shamanism, which works with a lot of nature and the natural world and things like that. And I've always been drawn to the idea of.
Is this all new or?
Earlier. Yeah, relatively new. I mean, I've known I was going to do it for a while, but there was a few things I had to overcome to getting to the stage where I started to do it. And now I'm starting.
So what do you class as shamanism? Because I feel shamans.
It's a wide school because there's so many different shamanic traditions and things like that. But there are similar constants. So it's one of those things that I'm exploring. And I don't really know what's going to come. I don't I'm finding what works for me. Adapting, I'll adapt practices, I know, and just develop things on my own. I do want to start to do things in nature, go out in nature on my own, set up, altars and like a grid with crystals and stuff like that, and play around with, connect with nature and play around with the nature spirits and things like that. Have you
gone deep into crystal work?
No.
Have you heard Have you heard any stories about things that crystals do?
What do you mean in terms of amplifying?
I know somebody that there's this, you huddle together like a seance-y sort of thing where crystals can come out of people's mouths. And that crystal has not come from this realm. It's come from somewhere else. It's come from, or people have been in teepees and sitting in a chair, with strapped, and this white ball of light has come from this teepee, and this person's in this possessed state, but they're moving around, but they're not because they're in this chair strapped. And and just this vortex of things just opens up through crystals, through you think about it it's a thing, it's an object, right? So just think of if you could tap into that frequency of that sort of that crystal and change it sort of space and time aspect to it.
Absolutely.
You could open up a portal.
Well, technically crystals are alive, right? Their molecular structure means.
Do they have a Hertz frequency? Do they?
They would,
yeah, they probably would.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure. And I know there's certain literature and records that say that back in ancient times they had power and things like that. And it was the crystals that were powering. And even stories of crystals so powerful that we're not even allowed access to them. And
to me, 20 years ago, people that dealt with crystals I thought were crazy.
Yeah.
But to me now,
dirty hippies or something.
But now, I want to know more. I want to know about that realm. But I think there's only so much you can sort of take on. I want to be sort of the greedy sort of Aubrey Marcus sort of I want Aubrey Marcus. Aubrey Marcus, right? Yeah. Aubrey Marcus to me is tapped into something that is sort of. It reminds me of that episode of on the Matrix where I think in this Reloaded, and they the two the movie quite well There's the two sort of white, I think they're on Home and Away, but the white sort of twin dudes, right? That they can drop through the floor and they pop up somewhere else. They sort of not interact with them, but it's part of the scene where they meet up with this key maker and they've got to get through this part, but it's there's this secret little community of people that are just on the back door of the system, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So they're attached to the designer or the creator or the key maker to just, if they want that version, they get in that door and they tap into that. Like that's how I see sort of Aubrey Marcus in this sort of realm. Like he's so connected to his own vibrational frequency where he is a part of this world, but he's just in sync with a lot more, you know, and I don't know whether it's because of the community he's formed, but they're into sound bells and all these instruments and frequency tools and all of this stuff. Like he's a very powerful man, you know, and
see, so, he's got the time and the ability, you know, through his finances to be able to allocate he can go and get the best of the best to come in, learn this stuff and give it the time.
That's where I want to be. I want to be that tapped in, but I like today driving home, I got a Porto, you know, and that's not good.
What, though? I don't know.
Is it a bad thing?
No, that's okay. That's all right. We all do it.
Yeah, but
I had a burrito today.
Yeah, well, but it is going to close sort of, you know, your third eye. It's going to stop you being, you know, intuition. It's going to tap into that sort of gut biome, sort of bad choice sort of thing.
You know, last time I was here, I said, I've gone vegan for a little bit. I had to stop because everything opened up too much.
Wow. What do you mean by that?
Well, I started seeing a few entities here and there, and I don't normally do that. Wow. And funnily enough,
how many days of being vegan?
Oh, it was probably a week and a half.
Yeah, wow.
It didn't take long to clean out and start to
go vegan,
do that. But I had like this is going to sound odd to some people. So I had a situation where, I spoke last time, I often talk about connecting with your heart.
Yeah.
And so my heart literally guides my decisions. My mind is a tool to carry out the desires of my heart.
Yeah.
So I'm doing things that are bringing a lot of, let's say, I'll use the word light into the world. So I'm helping people, you know, but from I feel like I'm coming from a very pure place, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not doing this to brag or anything, but that's just how it is.
Okay.
I had to message a friend the other day who was a shaman. And I said to her, what are the chances that if you are bringing so much light in, that something dark can come in to try and interfere with that? And she said, extremely likely. I said, okay, because it appears I have one. So I became aware, it sounds nuts for me to say it even now. I became aware early in the week, something came in and it just told me, just be aware that dark entities can come in to try and sabotage what's going on. And I had a couple of weird occurrences. Like I was at home and I heard a baby crying. We don't have a baby. And so I'm looking around and I'm like, I couldn't see anything. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And I just brushed it off. And then my wife gets up the other morning and goes, I was up last night. I could hear a baby crying. And I was
so your wife could hear it? Or you were saying that
this was at a separate time.
But you were saying that to her?
I had not told her.
But she said that she could.
And she said, I could hear a baby crying. So I'd heard it one day.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days later, she said to me, I was up last night. I could hear a baby crying. I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then she said something to me straight after that. She said, that next day she was doing, because she sees things. And she was doing something in the house. And she said, I saw this dark entity hanging in the corners. It's hanging in the corners. And she said this weird thing. She said, I think it's for you. And it's not good. Like it's something about you. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, because I'd just gotten this download and I've been feeling certain things.
Freaked me out a little bit, but yeah.
Well, the weird thing is it would have freaked me out normally, but it didn't, because I felt somehow that simply being aware of it
was it a thing, or was it just like I'd say like it wasn't like
probably more like energy.
Wasn't like a thing with horns.
Well,
with arms and legs,
hang
just
on.
like
hang on. So I'm I'm feeling aware of this thing,
Mm.
and I'm just feeling, just this whatever. I'm not worried, but I can feel that something's off. So I'm asleep that night, and I wake up. I don't know if I woke up or I was lying there, but I could feel a negative thought coming in my head. I can't remember what it was, but I snapped myself out of it. And when I looked out my window, I saw the face of what looked like a demonic something. And then the next day I thought, okay, I'm going to message my friend to see if this could be a thing. And she goes, yeah, 100%. Like, it's probably highly likely.
So after that, did you just start hooking into burgers?
No,
Fuck this vegan shit.
You know what? Because I still like to train, so I was feeling pretty average, not eating meat.
So you reckon that was because you changed your diet a little bit?
No, look, I just think I was more aware of it. That getting that download, getting that information, and then just happens to coincide with my wife saying, "Oh, I'm thinking this is going on."
I'm freaking out a little bit,
and it's not here. I think I've gotten rid of it because I spoke to her about that, and I sort of set the intention to get rid of it, because she did say to me, she said, "Look, on some level, for that to be there, you have to have given permission or brought it in somehow."
So if you've seen darkness around you, you felt lightness around you, and you've had...
Yeah. So like, for instance, the night before, was it the night before or the night of? I can't remember, but I was walking my dog and I saw like a blue, how do you explain it? It was like a blue energy. It was a spirit.
An orb?
Thing, sort of, but like, it was like an orb with another orb, and then there was like blue attached, and like it was like a blue cloud thing. It was like a
Were you taking magic mushrooms?
No.
Okay.
And then I walk around the corner, and I'm going further down, and I'm wandering down, and then I see this dark figure just sort of shoot across in front of me.
It's all there around us at all times.
Yeah, and I just become aware of it. So
I had a crazy... Have you finished?
Okay.
So I just felt like I cut you off. No, I wanted you to, because I got comfortable here.
Yeah. No,
Just,
so
I've just shrunk it.
You're kind of hiding under the desk.
I just shrunk down. I was getting comfy.
Hey?
I was getting comfy.
Yeah.
No, I had a really bad because I'd done like an ayahuasca.
Yeah.
So actually, so I've been going like through this not identity crisis, but because I was so sort of, involved with drinking for like 35 years of my life. When I went sober, I didn't know who I was, right? So I wasn't sort of heavily into drugs, but there was a time when I took sort of drugs, and it was after I sort of drank so much. So like after that 6th, 8th beer, no sensible decision-making was done. I was like, bags, cocaine, Anyway, so with alcohol and cocaine, my brain or my personality had ventured off into being this sort of addict, right? Or drunk, So pushing all of that behind me, that now I found myself in not moments of thought when I was either heavily intoxicated or in a state where, like, I remember one time, what happened? I played the pokies this one night, and I won money, and I got like some substance, and I was heavily drunk. And then I went home and took them, and it kind of spiraled into the next day. Because I won money in the poker machines, I got an Uber to the bank. And on the way to the bank, there was like an awning, and there was 2 workers on the awning, and something went and blew, like a compression sort of thing, like an air thing. And next minute, you just hear somebody screaming like, "Ow, my eye, ow, my eye." So this sort of air conditioner unit, one of the compression pipes come off and went and blew in his eye and blew his eyeball out, right? So I'm like cooked up in the back of this Uber heading to the bank, and I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like I wasn't really so in tune and understanding energies and frequencies, right? I never really got anything. Like I was in this frequency or vibrational field or of just this dark, a couple of seconds slower in reality for that. Like I was in the dark pits. I feel like if I went any deeper, I'd be like almost like in the pits of hell. Like it was a very, and I got this feeling in the Uber, and I'm just like, I need to get out of this place. Like this is rock bottom. Like this is like, I shouldn't be seeing that, you know, because things happen to people, you know, karma, all of these things, but you get karma, you understand it. Like, it's like if you kick your baby toe on the door and you get that pain, like worst pain ever, you're like, fuck, you know, like, have you done something? That's me. I'm being stupid. I need to slow down because I'm rushing here, you know, just calm down. Don't stress. You know, you understand that you get the karma, but it's something like, you know, something bad, or you have an argument with somebody, or you understand that thing. But this was something different where it's just like, you knew that place that you're in. So after that, got myself out of it. But anyway, so that's an example. But I found that through my sober time, I was having this sort of identity crisis where I'm like, who the fuck am I? Like, am I that? Am I that drunk? Like, am I that worst version of myself? And like, I used to sort of get paid. It was like, I think like a Monday or a Tuesday. I think it was a Wednesday. So Wednesday night I'd start drinking. Thursday, going to work Friday hungover. So I'd pretend I wasn't. Probably blow all my dough from then and go to work Saturday, get paid to pay for more alcohol Saturday night. Then roll into work Monday hungover, pretending I was this perfect employee. Didn't drink Monday because I was broke. Might borrow some money Tuesday because I know I got paid the next day, and then repeat the process. And I was stuck in that trap for years because I was coming out of relationships and just fucking finding the wrong women, and I was using it for boredom and an escape, you know. But that was me for like 2 years, you know. So that one night I was sober, the alcohol was still in my system. So when I stopped drinking, you know, I was going through all these versions of myself where I'm like, this is fucked, because I was more emotionally unstable sober. Does that make sense? I was more together drunk. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, but I was like just this fucking wild, like, you know, I think there was a time when someone tapped me on the shoulder and said, Jonathan, you're fucking like 35, man. Like, you're not in your 20s anymore. And I looked at that and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, just one more weekend. but like tomorrow. But no, I mean, but yeah. And so it was, I've gone through so many like fucking sort of rebirths and breakdowns and all these fucking things. But I don't know if you've seen all the medals there, but I had to fucking find myself through running. Through doing all these.
Wow.
So
okay.
all of those medals. I had to use fucking marathons and ultra marathons as the work to fucking break down the layers, because I'd fucking band-aid, mask, you know, built this facade, built this false, built this fucking imposter version, built this fucking weak, scared boy, no love, like just, you know, abandoned at 8, you know, no family, all these things. Like, all of this stuff was coming out, like, you know, when I was like 35, and I had to fucking do all these runs and go just in with myself and battle.
You have no choice, do you?
Well, that's it. But I mean, like, it wasn't like, I'm like, fuck, I need to be fixed. What is it? You know, and it's like, I'm not saying something was guiding me or helping me.
Probably was.
Well, you know what? I done the Larapinta trail the other week, and something happened. Since I've been back, which was like the 25th of April, something happened in that run. That was a stage run. It's like 130 Ks over 4 days, stage event. The third stage, I had to pull out because hydration and stuff broke my body down from the day before. But I managed to get to stage 4. So overall, I've done like over 100 Ks. But something came over me at around the 25, 26K mark. And you hear like David Goggins speak about it all the time. I think when he'd done this 24-hour sort of run, the first run he'd done, he said that he was like up to like mile 70 and he had to do 100 miles in 24 hours or something like that. And he said something came over him where that he broke that 40% barrier where he still had 40% left. But I felt like something came within me and broke that mind that would tell me, you know, to quit, the excuses, all of these things, where the body turned into the body to do the task. And like I became breath, you know, oxygen was just flowing through me. I was just breathing and I was just fucking just powering. My knee was fucked. I had no energy. Like, and I just like, I thought that this stage was like 31 Ks and I seen a couple of people in front of me and I'm like, oh, I'm going to take her down. I'm going to take him down. I'm going to get these people, but these are like rolling hills. So you look over the ridge line and you're like, oh yeah, they're only like a couple of 100 meters, but it's like,
but they're going downhill.
And but they're really kilometers. Yeah. I was like at the 26K mark and all of this stuff's happening to me. And I had this sort of emotional breakdown that it was, you know, it was me that got me here and, you know, no one, you know, my family didn't get me here and all this sorts of stuff that was going through. But when all of this stuff came to me and I just was like, broke that 40% barrier, became the body, the run ended up being 35 Ks, but I was just, you know, something else, but something happened. Like everything stopped, you know, almost like the anxiety, the excuses, the bullshit, that weak version of me, you know, it was like, I broke that fucking bitch. I broke that drunk. I broke that addict. Wow. You know,
it's like a milestone moment.
Yeah. And, but at the like all of that stuff doesn't make sense. Yeah. And I think that, like you were saying before, that all of this stuff is coming at play where I think that, you know, going back to the sacrificing sorts of stuff, like as long as you don't quit, you don't give up, you stay on the path, you know, you find purpose. Doesn't matter if it fucking makes sense or doesn't make sense. I think that everybody still has that sort of same story of just, you know, like we've all got that same destination, but it's the journey, you know, that happens in between. And, you know, some days are shit, some days are fucking bad and all of these sorts of things. But it's like, you know, it's the part of life that you all sort of learn from. And yeah, like it's yeah, it's fucking, it's crazy. You know, it's actually crazy what you find when you go within.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it.
And running's funny like that because when I was a kid, I used to love cross country as a kid. And I can remember that you get to that point where you think I can't do anymore. And if you could just push past that point, suddenly you go, oh, this is all right.
It's ridiculous.
It's kind of like a metaphor for life, right?
Yeah.
If you can just push past some of those barriers, then it's kind of like a bit.
There's definitely something there. Like I know people that won't sit down and spend time with themselves through meditation because they're scared of being alone with their mind. 100%. But they don't get that that's what it's all about.
And they think it's bizarre.
But yeah. But then 10 minutes, 15 minutes of that mind would be quiet. But that mind would be quiet.
100%.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much. No. It's like a natural resting state.
Yeah.
We should be doing it anyway.
Yeah.
We would have been doing it back in, 500 years ago. We would have had time to do that. We would have done it.
Maybe. I reckon further than that. I reckon they've kept this a secret.
Depends on your culture, right? So like, I remember when I was doing my meditation teachers training, we got to a point where we were doing stuff on ancient cultures and meditation and things like that. And there was nothing on Australian Aboriginal culture. And I'd never heard anything about it in all my years. But I could quickly tell that, no, it had to have been a thing. There's this constant in ancient cultures that they do that. And after a little bit of looking around, I found that indeed they did have like a spiritual meditation practice called deep learning. Well, their translation is deep listening. And
the Aboriginal.
Yeah. And it's a thing. it's still around.
Yeah, right.
And they did do it. Both Wiradjuri have a practice, which is sort of the group that are just the other side of the Blue Mountains from us. And over up near the Northern Territory. I know it's up near the, I can't remember if it's in the Kimberleys or, but somewhere up the Northern Territory way. They've got a practice called Dadiri, which is the same thing. And it's what they did. They all had it. And I mean, even 1,000 years isn't that far removed from those sorts of practices, really, not in evolutionary terms.
Yeah. It's crazy, eh? Like, what are they trying to hide?
Yeah.
You know, like, it's basically white man's colonies.
They know what lies within us.
Yeah.
And
all of us or some of us?
No, all of us. Literally infinite knowledge lies within us. Like, essentially, if you could develop a practice, you essentially could go without external knowledge. Everything you need is in there. We have access to tap into. You know, you start talking Akashic records, but you can also talk about just. Well,
that's it. Like, I mean, if you were to remove sort of Western Sydney, Penrith, and you were to go and throw yourself into like a tribe in the Amazon, and you were just to adapt to that,
100%.
Like, everything in Western Sydney life would be irrelevant and would not exist, and you wouldn't need that. You know.
I wish I had it. I went up to I had to get out a couple of days ago. I went up the bush, just up the mountains there. And I was sitting up on the hill, sort of, I found a lookout that was sort of overlooking
where?
Penrith, just up.
Oh, you found?
So I went up.
Because I run all through there, that's why.
Yeah, well, I went up Knapsack there.
Yeah.
And you know where that bridge is,
one?
and you can park on the right-hand side if you're coming back down to go down Mitchell's Pass.
Oh, yeah.
At the top there.
At the top, on that part?
And then so I walked up the top, and then I just followed a bike track.
Where that little hut is?
Oh, I don't know if there was a hut up there.
No,
I've never found it before.
I think there's two actually. Yeah. You're on like the corner of Mitchell's Pass bit, not the one that's in the middle of the
Pass.
That's closer to the bridge. No. I know the one.
Yeah,
it's like Lisa Lookout or something.
Yeah, so I just went sort of down the cliffs, like just down a little bit, so no one could see me, and sat there. And I'm listening to. It's funny I wish I had my book with what I wrote. I wrote something about it, but I took this moment and I'm listening to the background noise down there. I can hear all the noise from Penrith, from Emu Plains, but it's at that point, it's just so far removed from me. It's external and I'm just observing it, but I know that in an hour I'm going to be down in it. And it was just this, I can't remember what I wrote, but.
Like it's its own thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just had this beautiful moment where even though I could hear it, it was just so external that I just sat there with my eyes closed on the rock, and you're in pure bliss, like just with you and nature. You connected.
I was in the gym the other day, and just the noise of people in the gym, like it was like, but it was like everyone was talking over the top of everyone else. Like the music was pumping, and you're just like, it's like, I don't know. It's like, you know, when you're in the cinemas and you talk to someone and like, you're like, you know that part? Yeah. Like, it's like, it was weird because it was like this it's just like a vacuum of noise. And you're like, why is everyone fucking just over the top, over the top, where it just became its own sort of echo chamber of like, just doesn't have to be, you know, like you could just softly speak, but it's just weird. I kind of get what you're saying, because I had a moment where I sort of detached myself from it, and it was too much for me. I'm just like, this is all like, it was like, you know, like, get me out of here.
I feel like I need like a smoking or something afterwards, you know, not a smoke.
Yeah.
Like,
sage. Yeah. But I know exactly what you mean. But what did you write down, but
I can't remember. Oh. It was really good.
Right.
That's why I write it down, because it just.
Did you write anything down?
No, not in here. It's in the other book. So I haven't written anything down. This was for my notes in case you need that. I do want to ask you something, though.
There you go.
You know how you talk about your story and you'd said, like, you know, the running and stuff like that. How do you feel about the idea? Because I know me, I wouldn't change a thing.
About yourself?
No, nothing, because I've gotten to this point. How do you feel about that? Because I can tell you've got quite a story behind you.
Mm-hmm. Whether I'd change anything about me?
Change anything at all about your past, given where you are now?
Well, I mean, I can answer that in two ways. Because first of all, I'm here.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here.
100%.
So if none of that happened, I wouldn't be the person I am today with the knowledge that I have.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know why I know the things that I know, but there are some things that I know which many people know, but not many people know. You know, I said to my friend, I'll go back to and answer your question properly, but I was talking to my friend the other day about, it's kind of like cryptocurrency. We're kind of like having this conversation where it was like, you know, you go to a barbecue, like people would talk about like today's society, you know, like people think relationships are what they see on Married at First Sight, you know, or The Bachelor, you know, or just this toxic fuel, like, you know, like entertainment. We love it. You go to a barbecue, you know, and it's like, there's not this, right? It's, oh, such and such, or talking shit about someone else, or it's this, you know, like there's no sort of inspiring, there's no, I mean, there probably is, but like in Western culture that we're used to, it's not, you know, who's got the biggest dick because you've got a $100,000 Mercedes, like that's cool. You know, I've got to look like this, I've got to dress like this, I've got to have Botox, lip fillers, all of these things I've got, it's all image, right? So, really forgot where I was going with that, but like people interacting in a sense of just sort of toning it down and being like this and sort of understanding is very rare, but I find that more and more people are sort of opening up to it. Now, that conversation within itself about understanding, you know, yourself and frequency and vibration, what I've learned from that is weird because I've had to go through the body beat down, the mental beat down until it's like, aha, I get it. I understand this reality. I understand this life. I understand the system. I understand my body. I know what works. I know that if I start getting out of alignment, I know it's something I've introduced. You know, I went from 35 years of my life abusing sort of alcohol, not admitting that was the problem, to now if I make the wrong diet choice and my body doesn't perform the way it needs to through being its best performance version of itself, I know it's either a supplement I take or it's a food. So I see all these things. So I shouldn't know the things that I know, but for some reason I do. So, I mean, would I change anything? I mean, the only thing I'd change would be the drinking, because the drinking was always the bad choices, which they are my darkest demons, right? Of what I faced with that. But then that kind of brings it to, well, all of that is irrelevant and none of that matters because that's what you're meant to be dealt with. That is what you're meant to sort of challenge yourself with. You know, like, was that version of myself even real? Because now it's just a thought. You know, did some of that stuff really happen? I kind of look at it as if, you know, yes, it did happen, but that version of myself did not exist. So, I mean, would I change all of it? I mean, you kind of have to say no, but like if you're like dealing with like a mental health down day, you'd want to say, yeah, I wish I did. But, you know, what version of yourself do you want to be? So it's all weird to kind of answer the question the right way. I nearly lied.
I was just interested because, you know, like clearly there's, and we'll find out when I talk to you later in the week, that there's quite a backstory to your entire life. Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that I think I figured out what it was when in my late 20s, and then, but then I dealt with it. But then still the Band-Aid was still there. You know what I mean? Like I realized I found the wound, but I still kept picking up the Band-Aid, you know, the Band-Aid being the alcohol. You know, I realized that there was a lot of people that if they were to live my life, I'd feel like they would not have made it as far as they did. I believe that if I was to tell my life story, I feel like I could blow the fucking minds of people. I've met, you know, like I spent 5 years in England, where I'd met so many people, right? Because me and my dad used to go from pub to pub to pub, and I met so many different versions of people. I know people when they talk shit. You know, I met fake people. I've met people in pubs that I've got all this and that and this when they don't. You know, so at a young age, I learned a lot about so many people. Like you think about like the everyday person, like you only sort of half interact with people at school. You know, a few people in your class, your friends and family. You know, kind of like that's it. You know, you a few people. But like at such a young age, I explored a different country, mingled with so many people, and so many people in Australia where I got an understanding of people, which I think all of that learning has kind of led me into understanding sort of the game or this sort of matrix design. So, so yeah, like again, like my story and my life has been crazy. But something that I've been tapping into lately, you know, is just in a sense creating my own sort of life and knowing that you can create your own life.
Absolutely.
And that, you know, everything is by choice. And, you know, I hear people with excuses, right? But excuses go as far as like people will explain how everything is bad in their life. But what they're explaining as being bad is that excuse to that is what they need to remove, if that kind of makes sense. So there's so much that I've kind of sort of seen within, you know, so many different people and the sort of the problem with, with life and whatnot. So,
that's powerful.
Yeah. So, but yeah, you know, you can't, the excuses are the baddest thing ever. I think it doesn't matter whether it's like, I can't go to the gym because I've got a sore knee. Like that's an excuse, but it's like, you just accountability, always show up, you know, just be true to yourself. Don't say you're going to do something and then don't, you know, like there's all these things that sort of, you know, sort of expose weakness in a lot of people. Yeah, like it's not, I've learned a lot. but yeah,
the hard way.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, even like the sort of the darkest sort of times, like the demons, you know, the shadow and stuff. Like I've had some things creep up on me, which just out of the blue just popped up from a bad mushroom trip. Because I was trying to just find that happiness or find that thing, you know, and but through that trip was the work that I needed to do. But like when you said that dark thing was there, I went in my room, I just got like overwhelmed, and one part of my room was like this dark thing trying to suck me in. And I'm like, ooh, no. Like, and it was almost like to say, face it, you know, or else. And when I come out of it and the next day, something kept resurfacing, and it was like that darker version of yourself where, you know, if there would have been a gun there, I would have just fucking blew my brains out. Like it was fucking it was so bad. It was very bad. I had to speak to so many people and understand this thing, like, cause it was such a common thing coming out of a mushroom trip or something. But a few people said to me, that is always there. That's the shadow, you know? And it was like, there was an answer that come out of it. And it was me, you know, there was things I had to change, you know, like it was, it was crazy. But yeah, it's only half of the story of it. Well, I seen these little eyes. You see eyes in mushroom trips. And you get them through DMT. And like I was looking around, and there was like these little eyes. And really, the eye meant that, you know, it's you. Look at you. That's the problem.
Wow.
That's the problem in the trip. That's the problem in life. It's just you. Keep doing the work. And I feel that, you know, unless you face that darkness, you don't get to experience the good on the other side. So
wow,
best way to put it. Sort of. But I'll never touch a drop of alcohol again.
No.
Scared. I think.
What are you scared or falling
I
back
think,
into the,
well, I think that I'd lose the momentum of being in control.
Yep.
I mean, look, that version of myself doesn't need to resurface, and I don't need a drink.
Yeah.
I don't need to find that excuse to have fun. Like, it's had its time.
Yep.
You know, it's had its time. It's moved on. But yeah, I think that, you know, knowing that probably after 6 beers, 8 beers, I could be anywhere. You know, it could be down Panthers, gambling, could be like calling people up, you know, but I don't think I'd be able to face anybody. And I think everybody would know as well. You know, like I couldn't call anybody up if I was drunk, because I think they'd know straight away.
I still can't picture it, eh?
What do you mean?
I don't know. I haven't known you for very long.
Yeah.
I can't picture.
You couldn't picture me drunk or
not drinking?
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling it.
Oh, really?
It's hard. I guess it's hard because you're talking about the yoga and the breath work, and you go,
do you reckon it's the beard?
The two might be. Wish I could grow a real beard.
Yeah,
I think I'll hit puberty in the next couple of years.
Yeah. Well, I kind of got to this moment where I'm just like, you know, throughout the pandemic, I'm like, I don't want this chaos. I want to go and fucking live off the land or something. And I want to be my true self. Yeah. Like, I want to grow a beard. I want to grow my hair, not put any fucking chemicals in it, not fuck around. And I found that the more and more I just be me, you know, that the more I just didn't give a fuck. You know, like there was I didn't need to. Yeah. Like it is like my sister looks at me and she's like, clean yourself up, you know.
Why?
Well, that's.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I know, you know, and like, I mean, there's fucking how some of the dudes look. Yeah. Right. Like you talk about masculinity in this. Like I think that this is masculinity, right? Yeah. Right. I'm not like 6 foot and macho masculine, but you look at some of the people that get around in gyms. Yeah. They are nothing of masculinity because some of them are pumping fillers in their lips. They're getting Botox done. Yeah. You know, they're getting the big white teeth. You know, they're putting shit in their body to make them a different color, and they are bleeding insecurities.
I do the same. I've done the same observation. And part of my process was that I started to realize my own reasons for training. Yeah. And I was covering up a lot of stuff. Yeah, right. And I can look at a lot of people in the gym and the assumption is that, they train, they're fit, they're all put together.
Not fit, but.
And they're not. They're not at all. Like you're mentally compensating. And I can still sometimes fall into that trap that I'm addicted to training because I want that rush. I want that, you know, and sometimes the vanity can still creep in. I think there's an energy that you take to it and an energy you don't. And that's what the difference between healthy and unhealthy.
I had a conversation with a friend of mine where I said to him, I'm like, you know, go back to the best version of yourself. That's when you'll go into the gym, you know. Yeah. If you have the conversation at the gym, it's already got like an image attached to it. Yeah. Like you're just this muscle bound, steroid abusing dickhead. Like, oh, look at me. But you're like, no. Like this is where maturity comes into it because maybe in my 20s, you know, whatever. But now it's the foundation of keeping everything together. Like you don't have to go to the gym to get the big biceps. No. You know, if I was to put what is my perfect life? Well, my perfect life is getting up at 3:45 and just walking straight out the door and going to the gym, you know? I'm the same. And it's like whether you use it to stretch, get that answer, whatever, like the mobility, you know, just moving around, just whatever, like it makes my day a lot longer. Like I find if I stick to that by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I need a snooze because I'm already fucking 5 hours into my day. And if I'm driving to work, I'll pull over. But that is me, you know. But you can't like. And I got people next to me. And I'm like, go back to that version of you. But people won't let go of the ego to go. No. Like that's image. I'm like, no. That remove that and you know build yourself and use it as the foundation and just be the best version of yourself. And then, like up it. Yeah. You know, like say, I'm only going to go to the gym 3 times a week to do X, Y, Z, but then I'm going to, you know, probably do sort of like yoga or I'm going to do float tanks or I'm going to do a meditation class, you know.
Float tanks, you're the third person to notice that. Guess who has to do a float tank?
Yeah, I can point you in a direction. Caramar, not too far.
Sweet.
Horizon float tanks.
That even just got a tick.
Yeah. Have you had it? You haven't been
Check.
in a float tank?
I have never done it, but somebody mentioned it the other day, and I was like, ooh, I should do that. And someone mentioned it just before that, and now you have, so that we get the trifecta, and there I go. That's my rule.
Yeah. Do you get anxiety or not?
No.
Used to?
No.
Because I think that with the float tank, you, within yourself, you're like, how am I going to just put myself with me by myself for that hour in this? Like,
I can't
but
wait.
that is, you'll get a benefit out of it where you'll think you need to. I'd like to like you introduce that, you're raising the vibrations.
Yeah.
And you level up. And you're like, you get there and you're like, oh, this is what I'm missing out on in life. I need more of this, you know? And it's like like all those distractions in life, like, you know, distracting you, like yoga, meditation, float tanks. That's all you need to keep you.
But that is just outside my comfort zone, which is good. You know, it's dark in a float tank. Coffin.
Yeah. Well, no, this is like it's pretty open.
Yeah,
it's not like one of the.
Okay.
What do they call them? The No. They're like oh God. It's like not like a little cocoon thing, but this is an open fucking big massive bathtub. So So are we done? Are we?
I'm off to a float tank.
I didn't know if we're sort of done. I mean,
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I can keep rolling.
It's done. But I was going to add.
Yeah, go.
You know, you were talking about the gym stuff.
Yeah.
I still do love a good pump.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. Do you how much do you train a week?
It depends on the week. 4 or 5 times a week.
You still go. What do you train? Revolutions?
I train at Revolution.
Is that one of their new shirts?
It is actually. That $15. They're on sale. I wouldn't pay full price.
Yeah, that was on the rack, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the rack. Yeah,
it was signs throughout the gym. Everything on the rack. $15.
I was straight over there. I was straight over there. Yeah. So
probably made $2 off that shirt.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because they make my work shirts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they're about $6, and then the printing's about $6.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, so
because if they're being made in Australia, that's not bad.
But the shirts aren't.
No, but the fact that they're getting printed here and stuff like that.
It's crazy, Like, you know, we all turned a blind eye to it in the 80s when everyone was like, you know, everything's made in China. Yeah. Now look at us, everything is made in China.
Absolutely.
Now we want to get it all back. And
essentially beholden to all that now.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, but I go out of my way to anything. I'll get it from India.
Yeah. You get it from India?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah, so I've dabbled in. So part of my journey was dabbling in. I was always trying to find that missing thing. And so I started with Tony Robbins, and then naturally you gravitate to the business world, entrepreneurship's the cool thing. So I've had all those, I've forever got ideas and I'll pop into my head. I'll go after it. And then a few weeks later I'll go, it's not really me. And, but by then I've ordered like stock of some product and it's on its way.
What do you mean that's not really you?
I need meaning behind something, like real deep meaning.
Yeah, but could you push past that?
I don't know, probably, but that's why now all my stuff's based around the spiritual community, because that's my audience. So I'm now like I've got I'm going to start bringing in the wall hangings, tapestries and stuff.
Yeah. I don't have one in here, but I've got one. I did have one on that wall. Hang on, where am I? Is this the old studio? No, I call it a studio, the room. But no, I had another setup and I had it on there. But I know the tapestry.
I want to work around fabrics and stuff. So I'm going to, because they're cheap to ship, lightweight stuff. You can, it's just easy to deal with. So I got like a business virtually set up to go called Comfortably Om. It's, I was listening to the song Comfortably Numb from Pink Floyd one day, and I started singing Comfortably Om. So I went and bought the domain name knowing I'd use it one day. So I'm gonna do like the 100% cotton ethical clothing and things like that, and just build a brand around that and see how it goes. And you know, because you need something scalable. There's other work I want to do, you know, like working with men and things like that, but that's not scalable. That requires. I think it's good to have a scalable business in the background, something like that. So yeah,
right. Have you not saying have you met anyone that you've learnt off, but like have you sort of I watched one of your videos the other day and someone was saying, you know, that I think, what was he saying? He said that, you know, his dad I think he said to his dad to fuck off, and he hopped in the car and done a burnout, you know. And
yeah, that'd be James.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But like, have you found anyone that sort of like inspired you even more, like, or like you probably haven't come from a fucked up background yourself.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly. So, but have you met someone where you've gone, holy fucking shit, like that's great. Like, you know, you hear David Goggins speak and you think, fuck it, you're a bad motherfucker. Like, have you met someone that's you've just gone, fuck, like, you know, that's a cool story, like, and got like a excitement from it? Or
I mean, I
like, have you had someone talk about some wild shit that you're like, fuck yeah, that's cool?
No,
okay.
No, I don't think so, because it's hard to pinpoint one, because I have I think part of why I do what I do is because I really love everyone's story and how unique everyone is. Like, I get off every podcast and I'm just buzzing from who I've talked to. There's not one that I haven't been like, you are awesome, you know, because I just love people. Yeah. So it's hard to pinpoint one person. Yeah. And I feel like, particularly at this stage in my life, I feel like I'm running my own race. Yeah. I don't like I don't really look up to anyone either. I've started to separate. You know how you've always got those people that are on a pedestal, and you know, like the person that you meet and you can't find words. I don't have that. Like, it could be a movie star, it could be anyone, and I couldn't give a damn.
Oh, I
mean, I admire what they do.
Yeah, I've interacted with like celebrities, and I just like, I didn't know what to say. Yeah, okay. I remember one celebrity, well, not celebrity, like, just, you know, like Johnny Roffo, like from I seen him, and I just was like, yeah, we got the same name. Yeah, and it was just like dead, and he was just standing there, just like. And my mum was with me. My mum was like just chatting to him, as if he was a normal person. But I'm just like, hey man, got the same name. Yeah. It's just like, but you know, this is just.
See, early on, so I was a pro wrestler, and
no, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Fuck, it wasn't.
So I was. What
was your wrestling name?
Nick Furno. So when you like abbreviate it, which was on all the posters, it was Inferno. So guess what? Guess what I was dressed like? A low-grade stripper.
Hang on, Nick Furno.
I don't know whether this was back in 08, so I don't know if a lot of it's disappeared.
Okay, let's just say wrestler. Well, come on, if you're a pro wrestler, you have to be.
I've wrestled up and down the east. I've actually got DVDs at home. I've got to burn them and put them online.
Hang on. No.
I wrestled with the AWF.
Nick Furno, photos of MySpace?
Oh, yeah, that could be it. I had a MySpace back then.
Hang on.
So I wrestled with a lot of really, really famous wrestlers. There's a guy at the moment in the WWE.
How old are you?
I am 38.
So you're a pro wrestler. That's not you there, is it? Because it's going.
Yeah, that's me. That's the action shot. Yeah, you like that?
Well, no, because
if you print one out, I'll autograph it for you.
It looks nothing like you, eh?
No, I've grown a bit. So that was 08. So that was what?
You've still got
years ago.
You've still got a MySpace. You don't look like a stripper. You look like just a fucking firefighter that's about to clock off from training.
You know what? I was Australia's premier wrestling firefighter. I was the only one.
Were you a firefighter as well?
No.
Oh,
I briefly joined the RFS. The guy who we
Nick Furno's MySpace.
Yeah, the guy who we wrestled for liked gimmick wrestling. So he liked you to have a gimmick like that. Yeah. But I wrestled with, so there's a guy, what does he call himself now? Brian,
Rey Mysterio.
Daniel Bryan. He's like pretty damn popular. I wrestled with him. Not in a weird way. Yeah.
That's you.
That's me. I've actually still got the outfit at home. Still got the boots and all.
That's funny. I watched this thing about Rob Van Dam, the wrestler. He just got caught with a little bag of weed from a highway patrol car that fucking fucked
just recently.
Well, no, he had to pull out of wrestling. He couldn't wrestle. Like big time, I meant. I think the WWE kicked him out or something like that because he got caught with a bag of weed.
And yet you've got some jack, some of how jacked these guys are.
Yeah, I know.
They're still rocking around, and they're abusing. Yeah. But like virtually, actually, Daniel Bryan, at the time he wrestled as Bryan Danielson, but Daniel Bryan, who some people will know quite well, he was probably the only clean wrestler that came over. We had stacks of them, and it's so brutal on your body.
Oh yeah,
that they were all like whacked straight after the match. They're like, they literally muster up enough to go out there, and then straight afterwards, man, they're just like dazed walking through the. We had an X-Pac who was part of D-Generation X back in the day, Sabu, just loads of them.
Yeah, right.
I went through.
What made you stop?
At that age, I was very, I loved the adrenaline of going out there and stuff like that.
I could have had this as like you just calling you an ex-professional wrestler on the podcast.
It was very hard on your body. Like I had days, I did some liver damage at one point, and stuff like that. And I had to, like there were days where you just couldn't, it'd take you 2 days to get off the lounge. Yeah. But also, like, I was very, at that stage in my life, I was very in my head. So I wasn't, it took a lot of effort to I loved it once I'd done the match and I'd gone out in front of the crowd. It was all great and I did fine. But the build up just took such a toll because I was just so in my head about wrestling, because we were wrestling in front of like packed out clubs, like with Evans Theatre sold out.
Yeah, but surely you just go into character and just fucking be yourself. Really.
Yeah, but I was young and so part of it, I was very introverted when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I used to get in a van of a morning to go to work with the tradies I was working with, I could spend all day and not say a word to them because I didn't know how to hold a conversation. So my wife signed me up to wrestling to get me out of my shell.
I had a girl unfollow me on Tinder because she asked me, this was years ago, she asked me, was I introverted or extroverted, right? And I just went a bit of both. Yeah. And she unfollowed me because I didn't answer it correctly because she wanted an extroverted person.
Right.
Fucking weird. Anyway, continue.
That is weird.
Yeah. I after then I heard the word more, but anyway.
Yeah, no, she literally, so I went to watch the WWE at Ace Arena. When we came out, the guy who ran the AWF had put flyers in the thing and it said, oh, we're doing a show on this day. We also have a wrestling school. Signed up for the wrestling school. She even rung and organised it for me because I was so introverted. I went down there and, going out in front of a crowd, having old women yell obscenities at you as a young, an impressionable young man.
Well, like, get your dick out.
Well, no. There was one woman that yelled out, "How long's your hose?" That was.
Did you tell her?
No, I ignored it. I was family friendly. Yeah.
Get your hose. How long's your hose? That's funny.
Yeah. So it was a very steep learning.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Did you get paid for it?
Oh, the checks were so small that I kept one as a.
How much is small?
$30.
$30 for how long?
Well, the whole setup would take
that's enough for a pre-workout, right?
half a time.
Yeah, but back then they would have been like $30.
Yeah, actually, it was probably all right. Yeah. So
crazy.
You didn't do it for the money.
Yeah.
It was for the glory.
Yeah.
And
the
toothless old women.
Yeah. It's funny, man, because you can be anything in life.
Yeah.
If you follow the right path and
Absolutely.
you know the secret and stuff. Like you could have been like Rey Mysterio,
So
like or something if you followed it.
It's actually true, and I learnt this very early on. So when I was about 14, I was obsessed with rugby league. Now I was very small. I had no talent. I had a real chip on my shoulder. And there was one day where I was in one of our classes of high school and I said, I want to be a professional footballer. We were talking about what we want to be and they were looking for jobs. And they literally laughed at me, even the teacher. And I got like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So I used to go home and I would practice day in, day out. My dad bought me a roll of carpet underlay.
What school did you go to?
Kingswood High. I also spent a little bit of time at Nepean, but most of the time Kingswood High.
Are you 82?
Yeah.
1982?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went in Nepean for 2 months.
Yeah.
In year 7.
I went there for about 7 months, but this was in year 11.
Oh, yeah, that's at the end. So Kingswood High. Whose name could I just drop just to see whose year you're in?
Yeah.
Because I went to Kingswood.
Yeah. Okay.
We're the same age.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we would have had to have crossed paths.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think.
I wonder if that's why your name looked familiar.
My name?
Yeah.
Maybe. Michael Beale.
Yeah.
Were you in his year?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I even went to primary school with him.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Michael Beale was the only person I could think of.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in Michael Beale's year.
Yeah,
Luke Hill's year.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, we're in the same year then.
Yeah. Small world.
I can't think of...
Oh, there were loads of... Because I still know my mates were like Alan Bauman. He was like sort of the guys that hung on the fringes.
Alan Bauman.
Yeah. There was another guy.
Goran.
There's another guy. Yeah. Yeah. He ended up going to Nepean for a little bit.
Did he?
Oh, no, he didn't. Sorry, I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah,
no, not him. Because he played tennis, right?
Well, with a name like that, you'd probably fucking expect him to. Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of it. And then there was a guy called, I don't know if you remember a guy called Mick Dunn.
Mick Dunn?
Yeah.
Nah.
He ended up a cop. He was we don't talk as much no more, but
Yeah. Actually, I do. Yeah. He's not. Is he South African? Yeah. Is he South African?
No.
I think I do. I do know him.
Yeah.
I was following him on Facebook for a bit. He's quite cool.
He calls himself he's always got a different name though associated with it because he's a cop. He feels he has to be all.
Yeah.
Il cognito.
South Africa. I know Peter Jacobs, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know he's South African.
Yeah. So what about Stuart McLennan?
Nah.
Stuart hangs around Pete Jacobs and that. Like he still knows each other. Yeah. James Davidson.
Yeah. And his brother.
Yeah.
Fucking heaps of them, weren't there?
Because James used to be a referee in the league.
Yes, and soccer.
Which reminds me of
soccer or footy?
No, footy.
Yeah.
So because I was halfway through my story.
Yeah.
And that reminds me.
What?
Well, my rugby league story.
Oh yeah.
I learnt that. So I got this chip in my shoulder from getting laughed at.
Yeah.
Class.
Yeah.
Anyway, I went home and practiced. My dad even bought me. I made the old boards with the hole in
it.
And I'd run past it and I'd be practicing and I'd be chipping and chasing and catching and mucking around. My dad bought me a roll of carpet underlay, which I could barely lift.
What were you doing with that?
I used to use it as a tackling bag and I literally beat it until it turned to powder.
Nice.
And then eventually I just keep playing and I decided to start trialing at places and I go to the Do you remember Stephen skinny bloke played
ginger hair?
Yeah.
Saunders?
Steve Saunders I used to play footy with, right? And he got a trial at the Tigers because he thought he was pretty great.
There was brothers, weren't they?
I don't know if he's a brother. I think he had
Saunders.
Yeah.
Maybe a different guy, but anyway.
But he his mum and that took me along because they thought I'd do no good. They sort of didn't want to take anyone that would take away from him.
Yeah.
And the next minute, I'm there like 6 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Nick,
come back. Steve Saunders has gone the first week. They're filthy.
Yeah.
And I just practiced that hard, and I was killing it at the time. I ended up going and playing with DOMs.
Yeah.
And I was just smashing it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got through the process with the Tigers. I ended up going back over to Glenmore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing with Glenmore.
Mm-hmm.
I met my wife.
Mm-hmm.
We were 18.
Mm-hmm. So you've been together 20 years.
Yeah. The Tigers said to me, look, we don't want you this year. We feel like you're a little bit underdone. Come back next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. Anyway, I took on coaching a kids team.
Mm-hmm.
My now wife goes to me, you don't have any time for me. You need to give something away. So I said, I can't let down the kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you away because I might not be able to do any better.
What, kids meaning?
Training.
Oh, yeah.
Team.
Yeah.
So I gave away playing. Anyway, about 2 years ago, I'm talking to the manager of our team, and he said, mate, we were getting calls like every week checking on how you were going from the Tigers.
Yeah, right.
This was how close I came. He said they wanted you to, they felt you needed that year to keep developing here. Mm. And they were very like, they wanted you. And I was like, damn it.
Wow.
But I'm glad it didn't happen because yet again, this all gets you to here. But it shows you what, if you put your mind to it and and to this day, I never had any talent. I literally had no talent, but I worked
even
hard.
At footy,
At footy, but I tackled more than anyone.
Yeah.
I backed up the right players.
Yeah.
I did my job. And that's what they want. When you look at the NRL, you have the anomalies, but then you have the solid guys.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have your Jonathan Thurstons and the guys who can take a chance and it works off more often than not. And you can still have your guys who, have their regular stuff. But there's those, jazzy players, but then you always have your rock solid guys that you can just count on. They're not pretty. They just do their job. And that's how close.
You could have been a thing.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
And it would have ended up around the time when the Tigers were winning the grand finals and that, interestingly, but
right. It's weird, eh? I'm not saying that life that you're fed was a distraction.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could have sacrificed, not that relationship.
It's true.
That relationship could have still been there.
Yeah.
2 years later and followed that path.
Yeah.
So many different variations of yourself that could have created, it's so weird.
And in an infinite universe, that may well be happening somewhere
You're still
else.
playing.
Yeah.
No, actually you're not.
Yeah, no. I got killed in a high shop.
You got killed. Yeah. That's crazy because you said that you started like about the high school and stuff.
Yeah.
You mentioned, like, I look back and reflect on that. And I mean, again, going back to that time, like that was just a memory. And I feel like that life isn't connected to me anymore. Like it's weird. Like like if there was a high school reunion, I'm that guy that won't go because I'm that fucking, you're such and such, So that I kind of shy away from. But again, like if those people knew what I was faced back then, and this is the end outcome, like I think in life there's a lot of people that are sort of cunts, really. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like I could be holding on to judgment from my school days when I could be like, oh, I don't want to bump into this person. I don't want to deal with that. Don't want to deal with this. But they have disconnected from that. They don't care who you are. They don't know who you are. Everyone's moved on, but you can carry that yourself. You know what I mean? You can still freak out from and have anxiety. But I mean, look, I'd never want to.
I'm not interested in anyone that I stayed in contact with.
Yeah.
Now, the only reason you'd go, if you really went, I feel, it would be because you want to, I'm doing all right and look at me. It would be more of an ego trip because I don't have, if I wanted to be connected to those people, I would have stayed connected. And
if I was a guru,
yeah,
I'd want to fucking roll up, like just fucking yoga mat under the shoulder, like just on a a floating rug, like a Aladdin
walk
rug.
around,
Just just that, and just like with powers, you know, like Muji, like Muji or Russell Brand, just come in there all hippied up, guru'd with these fancy words.
I've changed my mind. Yeah, that would be awesome. And you look the part because you got the beard.
You know what I did once? So I used to sit with James Ronaldson and Ryan Taylor, and there was another dude. Anyway, you remember how the sort of the canteen, and then you had the school sort of hall.
Yeah.
So you had the big courtyard, like the blocks, you know, but then you had like the big courtyard and the canteen was here. They had the gym set up, like all the trampolines and shit.
Yeah.
But remember how you used to go up the stairs and they used to have the toilets?
Yeah.
But there used to be big square openings that used to look into the hall. Well, I was like, I knew that all the gym stuff was there at lunch. And I'm like, fuck it. I said, come on, we'll break in there. So I jumped from the opening on the second level. And it was like a fucking...
Yeah.
You know how big that block is, right?
Yeah.
I just went, jumped onto the trampoline from the fucking second story, right, of the gym hall, landed on the trampoline.
Yep.
My knees bounced up, smashed my jaw. My fucking teeth just went, exploded everywhere. So I was like, not the decoy, but I was the one that jumped down, opened the door, say, come in. So teeth went everywhere. Teeth went in my tongue. And anyway, and I ran over to the door, opened the door to get out. And they were like, yay, thanks. And just ran in, started doing fucking flips on these, you know, trampolines and shit. And I was like, oh, my mouth. They fucking just smashed my mouth up. Yeah, it was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I don't know what I was thinking. I learned something that day. Just don't double bounce of a fucking two-story building. Like, yeah, that trampoline was
See,
fucked.
I imagine that you'd hit the trampoline and then just go flying somewhere off.
Nah, it just went boom, boom, and then just bang. Just smashed my mouth.
Yeah. That's hectic.
Yeah, it was painful.
Wasn't that a funny setup school, hey? Like
it was,
a penitentiary.
Yeah. Have you seen schools now, though? Like, they are like a penitentiary. You know, well, not really. They're like a indoctrination school. Like you look at like concentration camps over in China. Yeah, that's what it looks like our school.
Okay.
Huh?
Yeah, I haven't seen. I can't recall. I don't think I've seen any new ones.
Yeah. Well, you look at the new sort of infrastructure in schools. Yeah. Like they look like these big demountables and big like it just looks like a concentration. Like you got palisades, security fences around schools now. Wow. I drove down Jamison Road the other day, and like all the parents were waiting outside the King, and I just think, like, how much of that is subliminally like pumped into us that through school we're locked in this big fucking cage, you know, for 7 years of our lives, 6 years of our, like, that is like, that's not there to keep fucking kiddie fiddlers out or fucking creeps or anything else like that. Cause like seriously, like who's going around kidnapping kids? Like fucking nobody. It's like, so you could remove that fence and just have someone patrol the area. Like I get it. It's security. You get an ADHD kid who runs out the thing and fucking gets hit by a car, whatever. But I think
it happens.
No, exactly. But I just honestly think they're fucking 8 foot now. Big fucking security fences like Palisade with the big fucking spikes on it. Like, you know. Why?
Because we don't want some rogue kid playing soccer in the field after school. You know what I mean? Like, but like sitting at the kids' school assemblies, they're only in primary school. And you can see by not all the teachers, but some of the teachers, the way they speak to the children is that they're very big on authority. And that's where the programming starts. They're trying to, we're the authority. And like the kids worship these teachers. They're like scared. They're like, no, you're not, they'll tell us we're not the boss.
I hate it.
My teachers are.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're confused. Teachers work for me.
Yeah. Yeah. What, for you?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a funny relationship with my kids' school. The principal's real standoffish. It's hilarious.
With you or?
Yeah. Because like, you know, so when the coronavirus stuff was going on, we had my youngest daughter's kindergarten orientation. Yeah. And you had to sign the COVID form and all of that. Yeah. So I'd been researching common law. Yeah. So at the bottom of where you signed on, I did the whole spiel to say I'm signing under duress. I agree to none of the terms and conditions above because you can't get on the school unless you sign it. and agree to the COVID rules. So you agree to get a test if however many days, if you're sick within whatever period, and notify the school and do all this stuff. So I signed it under duress and gave it to the teacher, and I walked away, and I'm looking at them going, they're all sort of walking around, sort of looking at it, not knowing what to do with it. But then, like, even the other day when we go to an assembly on Friday, the principal's like, oh, you've got to go and do the QR code. And you can tell she's like, she has to say it, and she knows that I'm the one that doesn't want to do it. So you got to, what, your kids have to QR code?
No, we do. You do.
If I want to go on a school grounds for an assembly, I've got a QR code.
Fuck off.
But no one...
Isn't it weird, the paper trail that we're given through life that's just unnecessary?
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's like, what is it? It's a fucking piece of paper. It's like a contract.
I'd like to do